Hello, I'm Zarina. I kind of wanted to make a video about self-love and loving yourself, especially in regards to people who are not white. I just kind of want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about internalized racism in America and how it affects your self-perception, and also steps to loving yourself that doesn't have anything to do with your race, whether it just has to do with your own insecurities, whether it's your weight or acne or a certain body part or just anything that you're insecure about with your body. And if you just, maybe it's nothing in particular, but you just look at yourself, you're just like, wow, like I just hate the way I look, which is so sad because I feel like there's so many girls out there, girls, I say girls, but really anyone, people, boy, girl, in between. There's when people feel like they are unworthy of love because of how they look, or I guess just in general, I mean, it's deeper than that, just how you look. But when people look at themselves and they're just like, why would anyone want me? I'm so ugly, or there's this trait, there's that trait, like blah, 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 blah. And it's so, like, attraction is so much more than just the way you look, or especially that one little thing, you know? I know that this is so cliche, but it's true, is that I don't want to use the word confidence, I want to use the word maybe like comfortable in your own skin. I think it's better, but confident, I mean, basically it's the same thing. Well, it's not the same thing, but anyway, basically confidence is so important. The way that you hold yourself and your just ease with yourself is gonna go so much farther than any tiny little thing about yourself. And beauty is so subjective too. I mean, we have kind of a bit more of like a cut mold of what's pretty or beautiful by, Western standards, but really, like, it's so subjective. What you think is so ugly about yourself, someone else may think is beautiful and gorgeous. If it's something that you can change and you want to change, then go for it. But if it's something that you can't change about yourself, then just the best route is really just be like, you know what, like, this is who I am, and it doesn't define me, but it's part of me, and you know what, I'm just gonna be the best version of me as possible, and you're gonna attract the right people to you. You're gonna attract the people who like those aspects about yourself. But first, you need to accept those aspects of yourself from yourself. I don't know if that made any sense. First, you have to, love it yourself, or at least accept that part of yourself as part of you. I was thinking about it because I have this friend who is Vietnamese American, and there was this guy who was, not treating her well and just kind of like, blah. He was a, that guy that none of your friends like. He's a little dirtbag, and well, maybe he's not a dirtbag. I don't know. I didn't really know him personally, but I didn't like him. He didn't treat her well, and it just didn't, things just didn't really pan out. And she really liked him, and she was telling me he ended up with this other girl, and it hurt so much more because she was this like beautiful, like stereotypical all-American blonde, blue-eyed girl. And our other friend, who's blonde and light eyes, was sitting there, and she was just like, what? But I totally got it, and it broke my heart because I used to be that way too. All throughout high school and middle school, I was so, first of all, you don't know me, that's right. My dad is from Pakistan, so I'm half Pakistani, and then half, I guess, white. My mom is from Texas. Her father's side's from, like way back, like 13 colonies in America, and then like Scotland, England, and then on her mom's side, so my grandmother's side is from Croatia, which is like Eastern European. Anyway, I loved my Pakistani family and relatives, and I loved the culture, but I just felt inside, like I just felt like the parts of me that didn't look white, that looked more Pakistani, were just like, I just hated those parts of myself. I just felt like they made me look so ugly, which was really heartbreaking because I didn't think that Pakistani people were ugly or anything like that. I just didn't like it in me. I just hated getting tan and having darker skin. I hated the fact that my arms, like I had like dark arm hair. You can kind of see I used to like wax it and bleach it, but I haven't recently because I'm lazy and I've grown past it. Ha ha ha. But anyway, just things like that. I used to wear sunblock every day, not because I wanted to protect my skin or anything like that, but just because I wanted to stop myself from getting tan. I would specifically wear dark clothes to make myself look lighter skinned. My mom has blue eyes. I always wish I had my mom's blue eyes, and I would like avoid tanning. I mean, I still did things I love. Like I love swimming, so I would still go out in my swimsuit and swim, but like I would never just like lay out in the sun to tan. I don't know, and I knew that that was wrong, and I felt really guilty about it because I still loved Pakistan. I loved the culture. I loved my family members. I just didn't like that it showed in me. I just always wanted to look white. I know that in Western society there's kind of things like, oh, you look tan, tan is better, blah blah blah, but there's still a lot of just media and cultural just like racism against people that aren't white, especially, you know, growing up post 9/11 era. There's a lot of anti-Muslim type of stuff going on as well. Even if it's subtle, it kind of grains into your subconscious. And I knew, you know, like that obviously white people aren't better than any other race. I knew that, but still, just deep down, I just felt I didn't feel as pretty as my white peers. But yeah, so I completely got it, and it reminded me of when I was in a place like that. And it was so gradual. I used to think like I'm never gonna get over this, like I'm always going to feel this way, and I don't, which is amazing. I realized I was actually studying abroad my junior year of college, and that sounds so pretentious. I was studying abroad my junior year of college, but I was studying abroad my junior year of college, and we were on like a trip in this like tropical place in Fiji, and I got this bathing suit for it that was this just like really light, bright turquoise, like light blue bathing suit, and all the bathing suits I've had have been more like darker or black, and I just got this like really colorful, bright, light bathing suit that accentuated my tan, and I'm like, you know what, like I kind of like this. I'm feeling this. Like, yeah, why not? And the friends I were with were like, oh, let's go tan. I'm like, sure. You know, I just realized that I just didn't care anymore, and I embraced the parts of myself that look not white. I just realized that I wasn't so hung up on it as I was when I was younger. I just thought that I would never overcome it, and I just realized that over time it just went away. I completely accepted, you know, looking ethnic and looking more Pakistani, and it didn't bug me anymore at all. And I just realized it was such a gradual process, and I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like there's a lot of like, love yourself, you know, go out and just be the greatest, which is great. I mean, I hope to put a lot of that content out too. I think it's really important, but I also feel like you may feel a bit like I'm not making progress, like I'm trying to love myself. How can I still feel shitty about myself? I just wanted to like remind everyone that it's not an overnight immediate thing, you know. Being comfortable in your own skin is a long process. It doesn't just happen like that. I wish it did. Maybe it does. I don't know. If that's happened to any of you guys before, please let me know in the comments below, because that's awesome and you should let us know what you did. But I feel like for the most part, it's fairly gradual, and that's okay. Some days are better than others. You can't be on top of the world all the time, you know. Things you may feel really strong, you feel really great, and you're just like, yes, I'm loving myself, and then you just hit a rough patch. You're not gonna be 100% all the time, and that's okay. But overall, over time, it'll get better. And I want to make a distinction between confidence and loving yourself and narcissism. Narcissism stems from this like comparison to other people around you. So you're either really low and you're just like, wow, like everyone's so much better than me in whatever aspect, like I suck, and you're just really low. Or you go to the complete opposite because you're trying to compensate and be like, oh, I'm so great, look at how much better I am than everyone else, and that is not truly loving yourself. That is kind of a coping mechanism, I guess, for not feeling so low, just going to the opposite extreme. And of course, I'm not saying everyone's a narcissist, but everyone has, you know, moments where they're like, wow, like I feel so much worse than everyone else, and wow, I really feeling myself like I feel on top of the world. And comparison is natural. Sometimes you do compare yourself, and that's okay, but it's just important to like catch yourself and be like, oh, comparing myself. And when you're truly comfortable in your own skin, I feel like that need to compare yourself just kind of dissipates. You're like, you know what, this is me, take it or leave it, and this is who I am, and you just feel a lot happier, and you don't feel the need to compare yourself to everyone. Rather, like working with people, and if you can appreciate others people's beauty as well without making yourself feel shitty for not having that either. And I just kind of want to talk about some like kind of baby steps to loving yourself. Baby steps to being comfortable in your own skin and being a bit more confident. This is gonna sound probably really bad, but I think, and this is just like baby step. Obviously this isn't something that, you know, you want to implement. It's like, oh, this is how I love myself. But at least at the very beginning, when you just like are so wrapped up in how you look or a certain aspect about yourself that it's just all you can see, is to just avoid mirrors throughout the day. I know that sounds so bad, but hear me out, at least for the beginning, because I think it's important to try to dissociate yourself from what you look like and just focus on who you are as a person on the inside, and just kind of cultivate that more. And if you aren't constantly like, you know, looking in a mirror, you're like, let me check this, let me check that, let me check to make sure this is that, or oh, like look, ugh, and then you get in this mental minefield of like, oh, well, this is ugly and that's this and blah blah blah. And so just to pull yourself out of that and to just get into a space where you're just like, okay, like I'm not focusing on my looks, I'm just going about my day as a person, and I'm not focusing on what I look like. I think that's important to at least start. And of course this is, as I said, like that's a baby step, so obviously not something like it's like, oh, I love myself because I avoid mirrors. Like, no, like obviously that's just to get to a point to where you can feel more in touch with yourself and just get more in touch with who you are as a person, where you're focusing less on your looks and then building a more positive self-image out of that. And this another piece of advice, which is kind of the opposite, but which is like looking in the mirror and just choosing maybe one thing that you do like about yourself. Like, okay, like maybe I hate my eyebrows and my nose and my lips, but like I really like my cheekbone shape or something. I don't know, just something that you like. Oh, I really like my hair today, you know, like this is a good hair day. Or just find something, even if it's so small and minuscule, just find something that you are like, okay, like this is good. And obviously this is all on like a superficial level. Also good to do this on a emotional, mental level. Maybe it's at the end of the day, like I did something that was kind today, like that was good, or I said something funny, you know, or things that are more about your personality and who you are as a person rather than just your looks. Another thing is, this is something that one of my friends was telling me about that she did, which I thought was really cool, which is writing down good things about yourself. So one thing I took, as I may or may not have said, I just graduated from college. Well, not just, like a couple months ago, but I graduated in June 2018 and I studied English and psychology. And so I took a positive psychology course, which was really amazing. And so I want to do some more videos on positive psychology. But one of the ideas, positive psychology, is to write down like 3 good things that happen throughout the day at the end in just a journal. And what this does is it rewires your brain over time to look for positive things and positive habits in your life rather than always focusing on the negatives. It just rewires your brain to just seek out and experience and really hone in on those positive experiences more. So I thought that this was, what my friend told me, was a really cool tie-in. Basically what she would do is write down good things about yourself and where you want to be. So if you're, you know, like, I'm feeling really low, just writing down where you want to be, maybe like, okay, like, these are some good things about me, and this is where I want to be in a couple months, you know, and just writing that like every day, even if you don't read it over, even if it's the same thing, just like writing out and having these goals for yourself of where you want to be, and also good things about yourself, like, okay, like, I like this about me, I like that I'm kind, I like that I'm smart, I like that, you know, that I gave this great presentation today, or I like that I made this super cool drawing today, I like that I did this really nice thing for my friend today. I know that I'm strong and resilient, even though everything sucks, I know that I'm strong and that I'm gonna make it through this. Anyway, it's so easy to get wrapped up in what you look like and to have that voice in your head that's always pulling you down. What people notice about you, or at least what most people, I mean, can't speak for everyone, but the people who matter, they're gonna notice your inner glow and your strengths. They're not going to notice the stretch marks. They're not going to notice, you know, that little scar on your cheek or whatever it is. And even if they do, they shouldn't care. You know, what you have to bring to the world is so much more than your looks. Like, you have so much more to give, and it's so sad to get wrapped up in that. And it's just, when you're comfortable in your own skin, that is gonna go so much farther than any type of physical look attribute that you have. And it's gonna take time, but don't give up on yourself, and just appreciate the aspects of yourself that you like, and realize that you're gonna attract the right person for you, you're gonna attract the right people for you, whether it's romantic or friends or whatever. If you have social anxiety, just realize that it's okay to be yourself and to accept all parts of yourself, given that, you know, those parts of yourself are not harmful to other people. You're gonna find your people, you're gonna find your tribe, you're gonna attract those right people and the right person if you 100% are just yourself, authentic, and you honestly accept that part of you. I mean, there are gonna be some people, of course, this is romantically partner speaking, who are gonna be like, I only like this race, or blah 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 blah, which is fine, because then they're not the person for you. You know, like, the right person for you is gonna see past all the physical stuff and appreciate who you are as a person, and who you are as a person is going to amplify the physical attraction that they have for you. So just go out there and just be yourself. You're awesome. You have strengths. You have positive things about you, and people, I'm sure there are people out there who love you. You just can't see it, or maybe you do, I don't know, but there are people out there who love you. There are people who you haven't met out there who will love you. Anyway, so I hope this video helped in some way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, go out there. You're beautiful. Obviously, go out there and be beautiful, but you already are beautiful. You each have something meaningful and unique and individual to give. And yeah, all right. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Hello, I'm Zarina, which you may or may not know. Probably not. This is my first video. It's really so much more. I'm really bad at speaking on this. Wow, this is harder than it looks. And there's no one actually watching this. I don't know why I'm nervous. And I feel like communication. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna go to this part later. Okay. So actually I can do this part now. Yeah, I can do this part now. Okay, so wow, this is gonna be some fun editing. Yikes. I don't want to say anything I don't mean, and I say things I'm like, oh, that's actually not what I mean, but it's okay because I just edit it out, right? Okay. Well, where even was I? Okay. Have everything in my mind, and then I start talking, and then it just kind of goes somewhere else, and I lose track of it. Which was really amazing, and so I want to do some more videos on positive psychology, but I have to stop saying like. But anyway, I